Okay, we are eventually live. Oh, apologies,
okay,
everybody. Yes, we're all there. So fantastic. Oh, look, my guest is already here. I'm going to bring him in because I can't wait. I was going to actually split the screen later on, but I'm not going to even do that. But first of all, let me first say apologies to everybody that was waiting in for this. And of course, welcome to the show. Welcome back to another round of conversation right here on Annie D and the Purple Sofa. Now, if you're looking for a bit of real discussion, then you've definitely come to the right place. And of course, as you can see, my guest today, I mean, and it really doesn't really need much introduction, a veteran of the Bollywood industry, son of probably one of the famous, I think, villains of Bollywood, but somebody who's made his own name in the industry, which is very hard to do. My guest, Kiran Kumar, thank you so much for coming on, sir. How are you?
I'm good, Annie. Nice talking to you.
Oh,
pending for a long time.
Yes, it has. You've been a busy man.
Yeah.
I almost didn't get you, but in fact, we almost had a few issues here. But good to know that we're here now and we're all connected.
Anyway, before we start to talk, आप सभी को नवरात्रि की शुभकामनाएं. I know that the celebrations are a little low key this year, but then we'll have to accept it. You know, this is the new normal now. So
absolutely,
may the goddess bless all of you who are here with us. Bless you and your families. Okay,
well, absolutely.
I'm all yours.
And I accept. I hope so. I hope so for this time, and everybody else's. I can't claim a monopoly here, but let me say, sir, an absolute honor to have you on. And you know what? When you're talking to a veteran, you know, of Bollywood and someone who's been in this industry for so many years, let me say, you know what? It doesn't happen to everybody to have one of these personalities on their show. So, you know, I feel quite blessed right now. So thank you so very much for coming on. And as we said before, it almost didn't happen, but we are here now. Now, you know what? Your father, one of the biggest villains in the industry of Bollywood.
Excuse me, I'll just come in here. He was a character actor. You know,
character actor.
So many characters, so you call him a character actor.
But do you know what? But the only roles that I ever remember, I think because it was so effective, were the negative roles. Amazingly, Kiran.
Yes.
So I remember that.
A piece of information for you and all the people who are here with us, that my father has a distinction of being one actor who's done one particular role in 61 films. I mean, he did this role. I don't know whether you know about mythology.
Yes, mythology, a little bit.
There is Narad Bhagwan.
Narad Muni.
He's, Narad Muni. And my father has the distinction of doing this particular character of Narad Muni in 61 different films. So, and people loved him for that. And you know what is so beautiful about it? That today, whenever a calendar or a picture is painted of Narad Muni, they paint my father's face, you know.
God. Honestly, I remember that.
That's such an honor.
Because my mother, you know, because I moved to India, say, around 9 years ago. But when I was growing up, my mother made sure that we watched Ramayana and Mahabharata. And the only lines I ever remember, I think from my mother, was Narayan, Narayan. Those are the words that stayed in my mind.
And you see, with Narayan, there is another interesting thing used to tell me. It says, I've spoken Narayan so many times that all the sins I've ever done are all forgiven. Not that he did any sin, but he was a great guy, a very pious person, very down to earth, very simple person, and a great dad and a great friend.
Wow. To be able to have that and to have everything else, and to have a successful journey in Bollywood, you know, to give all that time and still have a great relationship, you know, with his children.
Can I just get back to you for one moment? Can I just correct you? Please do not call the Indian film industry Bollywood. No.
Bollywood. Oh, what am I supposed to call it then?
We are the Indian. What? We are the Indian film industry. Let's not
the Indian film
Hollywood
industry.
And because Hollywood is Hollywood, so we have to be Bollywood. No, please, I object to it. We are the Indian film industry, and we are the Hindi film industry. please
Right.
call
Is that more
Don't
Swadeshi
mention
term?
Bollywood, please.
The Indian film industry. So I will make sure. Please correct me because I'm so used to calling Bollywood, and every time I use the wrong name, please correct me. Please correct me because somebody has to. Just
No,
like
well, Bollywood sounds like we are imitating Hollywood. You know, we are like people start calling Tollywood, Lollywood.
oh, this is true.
I always object. I always object to the word Bollywood. You know.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
I shall make it a point.
I'm really
I will try
if
and.
I hurt your sensibilities, but
No, not at all. Not at all. No, I think that's an interesting way of looking at it. Why not? It's an interesting way of looking at it. But now that your father was in the film industry, so I'm going to get used to saying this. Was it a natural expectation that you go into the same, like a doctor's? I guess the father who's a doctor, the son would go into the same, the daughter would go into the same profession. Was it the same with you?
My father was somebody who always believed that let every child, like I allow my children to discover themselves.
Yeah.
I give them a free hand, just like my father gave me a free hand. My father never insisted that I should be an actor. He left. I had a great schooling in Indore at the Sir Henry Daly College. Yeah. And I always knew in my heart that I wanted to be an actor. Yeah. You see, I wanted to be an actor and I wanted to be an engine driver. I was fascinated by trains when I was a young kid. And but in my heart, I knew that I would be an actor because I grew up in this industry. You know, I grew up as a son of a very famous, very, very popular actor. I had great upbringing. My early toys was the film spools, which, that time the camera, the Mitchell camera used to be used. And there was this yellow spools, where the film is rebound, in that. And my early toys were those film spools, and I used to make little houses out of them. And, and the film industry fascinated me. And I loved the people around it. I loved the people who belonged to the film industry. I loved the shooting atmospheres. I loved the studios. I loved the fragrance of makeup. I loved the lights, and I loved the sound system, and I loved the catwalk,
everything.
And I loved the sport boys, and I loved the directors, and I loved all the actors I ever met as a kid. And for me, it was a world which I felt that I belonged to.
Oh, lovely. But having said that, so then your father being very successful, do you think they were big footsteps to follow though? Were they great expectations of you?
You see, I could never imagine filling my father's shoes,
Yeah.
Because we had different sizes. You see, the era in which he was working as an actor, and the era in which I started as an actor and I'm still continuing as an actor, are two different eras. And at that particular time when my father was doing his films, there was to be roles specially written for the actors who were concerned. I mean, Dilip Kumar Saab had particular roles written for him. Raj Kapoor Saab had particular roles written for him. Dev Saab had particular roles written for him. Pran Saab had particular roles written for him. So you see, they were slotted in that bracket. So, and I personally feel that when I started off, it was a little different from the era of my dad. Yeah. And today the era is completely different,
Absolutely, yeah.
So for me to think that I'll be able to fill my father's shoes, and I'm a worthy son of my dad. Yes, I know that.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm modest about it, but I accept it. But to have the ability to fill my father's shoes, I'm sorry, I do not have that ability. I mean, my father was a different actor, and I'm a different actor.
But I have to admit, Kiran, that do you know that I did not realize that Jeevan, in quotes, was actually your father for a very long time. I did not realize because I couldn't connect the role. I couldn't connect the faces. I couldn't connect the personalities. Now, I have to say, and I saw one of your interviews with, I'm not sure which interview, it's a very old one actually, where this lady said, well, there's something very different about you and your father. You have a very, and I quote, you have a very romantic look about you. And I remember you looking down and feeling a bit embarrassed. I wanted to know what was going through your mind at the time. And I think it was a very old interview. And I couldn't help but notice. And so this is what she said. So were the roles made for you specifically then? For that romantic kind of a face?
Yes. The time, you see, like I told you, my father's era, the era in which I started off as an actor, the era which is now, you see, they are totally different eras, you know. Yeah. And thank you for, you know, giving me the romantic tag.
I had to agree.
I accept it with grace, with a lot of grace, and I'm thankful. Thank you very much. And like they say, the eyes are the windows of the soul. I'm basically a very romantic person.
So maybe romance
from my heart is coming to my face or my eyes. So maybe that's why you feel romantic.
Okay, you know what? You said your children were around, actually. I'm going to have to ask them at some point. It'd be great if they wanted to come on and say hi as well. So, and I'm sure they're agreeing with you. If you agree, do write a note in the chat box. And I hope you're listening. So Srishti and Shaurya are there with you right now, aren't they? Are they both with you right now? Or
yeah, my son Shaurya and my daughter Srishti.
Yeah.
Both. Yeah. They are with me constantly. You see, it's a lockdown period. And Shaurya goes in for his run, and you know Shaurya is going to be an actor. So
yes, I know.
Srishti one day is going to be a producer. She's a very creative person, and I'm very proud of my children. And
I can see a family production.
In today's times, you know, when I think I'm a blessed soul. I mean, I'm really a blessed person that I got great parents. I got a fabulous wife who is who's the captain of my house, who's the commander of the house, and who's also the queen of my heart.
And, you know, I hope people are listening to this.
My children are lovely children, and they still. I mean, you see, this house is democracy. You know, this house is democracy, complete democracy. That is, I'm the president who just has to put in a stamp. You know, but everything is dealt by my wife. She's the prime minister. She handles the house, and my children are totally...
Right answer. Is she sitting with you?
My children are my deputies, actually. Srishti is my deputy. And
I know that.
And Shaurya is rediscovering his quotient as an actor. He's trying to evolve, and I'm sure he'll do a good job. And I always tell him that, forget about me, make your grandfather proud, yeah. So I'm sure he will do that one day.
Oh dear. So, you know, I mean, I was going to ask you what it felt like to be a ladies' man, because I've seen your old pictures. And Kiran, honestly, you can't ignore the fact that you're almost perfect. Honestly. So I can imagine why that woman was smiling away and why you were embarrassed, because it was true. I had to agree with that. And I have to agree that your children are amazing, because I have been talking to Srishti and she has been managing this, which is fantastic. So thumbs up to her. And I hope at some point in the middle that she comes in too. Now,
but Srishti, I don't think she'll come.
But as long as we hear her voice.
But you can hear Srishti's voice. I mean, I'll ask her to say a few words for you. And Srishti is Srishti is also my moral support. You know,
she's mine as well.
She's also my emotional support, and she's absolutely in sync with me, and she understands me. And we have this thing that in a day, you know, at least once a day, we have to lie down together and cuddle each other.
And chat. Oh,
so we are the cuddle group.
It's too perfect. It's too perfect. It's too perfect. Now, looking at your background, Kiran, you come from kind of a aristocracy. You know, am I right in saying Kashmiri Pandit family? Have I got it right? Or is there something?
My forefathers, my grandfather, he was the Wazir-e-Wazarat in Gilgit, which is now in Pakistan. And
but did you find though?
I come from a family which had a good background. I do.
Yes.
I'm not aristocracy. I don't tend to have blue blood in me. But we come from a fairly well-to-do, fairly reputed family. Yes.
Right. So in so doing, right, obviously you have a reputation to maintain. So did you find that there were certain roles that you could do and certain roles that you couldn't, or you're a bit uncomfortable with doing?
No, I'm not uncomfortable doing any kind of roles, you know. I have evolved as an actor.
Yeah.
from the kind of work I used to do, from Lotia Patan to Tezab to now, a film which is going to be coming very soon, Marich. I have evolved as an actor. I've evolved. I am very proud of the fact. I mean, I accept it, because if you don't evolve in today's times, you can't last for so long. I've been here in this industry for 50 years.
So, I know, amazing.
Yeah, so this is nearly going to be 50 years. As myself and Radha Murad, Radha is a friend of mine. We always talk to each other and said, he says, Bidu, he calls me Bidu, I call him Bidu. He said, Bidu, मालूम है तेरे को, हमारे 50 साल होने को आ रहे हैं. So, and both of us are still around. And that says a lot. You see, a lot of people came along with us, came after us, came much after us, and yet they are not here in the film industry anymore.
And you're still here.
They have gone back, or maybe they have no work, or maybe they've gone back, or maybe they called it quits.
Yeah.
But I am one of the very few people who has lasted so long, myself and Radha. And
that's why I say I'm honored.
So I must be having something in me about it. I must be having that little oomph, that little advantage, that little something about us, that we have survived so long. To be able to survive in this jungle is not an easy thing to do, Annie.
No, absolutely. So then, okay, here's the question. So then what does the Indian film industry demand of an actor, right? If it wants them to stay on screen. So what are the traits then are we looking for that makes you long lasting?
The Indian film industry demands discipline. The Indian film demands good behavior. The Indian film industry demands that you keep your head on your shoulders. Let's not success elate you so much that you forget reality, and let not failure depress you so much that you go down in the dumps. And you require the little bit of talent, how you perform, that performance comes later, and then you that's all the film industry demands. The film industry is like a mother, It doesn't demand anything of you. It gives you. The Indian film industry is like a mother.
Yeah, but there's
who will always love you. Depends on you should be loving it back.
So this is it.
A mother will not love a child who doesn't care a shit about her. But the Indian film industry will always love you when you love it back.
No, fair enough. Right. Okay. So if somebody is listening, if somebody is looking to go into the industry, these are the kind of points, and this is the mindset that they need to go in with. This is what we're saying.
Passion.
Yes.
One more thing I should tell somebody who wants to be a part of the industry that you should have the passion to follow. The passion is very important. जिसको जुनून बोलते हैं ना, शिद्दत जिसको बोलते हैं, वो जुनून होना, वो पैशन होनी, वो शिद्दत होनी बहुत जरूरी है. अगर आप में जुनून नहीं है तो आप दुनिया में कुछ नहीं कर सकते. आप फिल्म इंडस्ट्री में तो बिल्कुल कुछ नहीं कर सकते. आप में जुनून होना चाहिए, एक हल्का सा पागलपन होना चाहिए to be an actor. A little bit of madness, not lunacy, but a little bit of that, that little thing of where you are a little above an average person. You need that little madness, and that madness is great fun, and that madness is so beautiful.
Okay, so which role would you say that brought that passion out in you the most? If you had to name one role, which is the one that that you really kind of gave it all to?
This is a question whether, if you ask me whether I love Shaurya more or I love Srishti more, you see, that's very difficult for me.
These are the typical questions.
Yeah, because for me, every single film has been a special film for me. A film in which I have put in my best and I got the best out of it. They gave me name, they gave me fame, they gave me money. They took care of me as a person. They took care of me as an actor. So for me to really single out some film, but there are some special films like Tezab is there, Khuda Gaba is there. Hina is one of my very, very special films. RK films. Dabu Sahab, Mr. Ranveer Kapoor Sahab, he directed, and I had the good fortune and the opportunity to work with Mr. Rishi Kapoor, who is a great friend of mine.
Yes.
And today I miss him very much.
So who would you say of the actors that you've worked beside, who would you say that made the most impression on you, that probably helped you develop into the actor that you are today then?
Who but Mr. Amitabh Bachchan?
Of course.
He's a living legend of our times.
Absolutely.
To work with Mr. Bachchan is like having creme brulee, having caviar.
Yes.
Yeah. Bachchan Saab is an experience to work with. So dedicated, so disciplined, so passionate about it, and such a fair actor.
Yes.
I mean, if it is somebody else's scene, it is his scene. He will not interfere. He will not intervene. He will not say anything about it. He'll let the other actor do his bit. And I had a great time working with him in Khuda Gaba. We spent some lovely moments, lovely times in Jomsom, which is God-forsaken place on the foothills of the Himalayas. Yeah. And we shot there. Wow. Gorgeous Sridevi was there too. And
wow, how amazing! So you're
working in that film, and it was fantastic working with Amici. It was lovely working with him. And if you ask me who is my favorite actor, then my favorite actor has always been Dharmender ji.
Well, I wasn't going to put you on the spot.
Dharam Saab has always been my favorite actor because I have never missed Dharamji's films. I have seen each and every film of Dharamji. I mean,
now that is passion.
Dharamji was my, my ideal man. Agar koi aadmi is dunya mein paida ho, to Dharamji jaisa ho. That look, that that charisma and that
the charm,
and yet that innocence, in the face.
Yes.
I mean, a He-Man.
I agree.
Who have had so much of innocence on his face. Have you seen Dharamveer?
Yeah, I agree. I have seen Dharamveer. Believe it or not, yes, on videos. At the time we had
Russell
videos.
Crowe in Dharamveer, Russell Crowe in Gladiator, and Dharamji in
Dharamveer.
You see, if you compare both of them, Russell Crowe doesn't stand close to Dharamji. I mean, Dharamji, they're wearing the same kind of costumes, they're wearing the same kind of toga.
We also have a sense of humor.
How can a man look so good in a skirt? I mean, Dharamji looked fabulous in a skirt, in a toga. He was fabulous in that. So Dharamji was somebody whom I always saw him. Then Dilip Kumar Sahab. Then of course Shri Amitabh Bachchan. Then so many. I mean, so I have had the good fortune of working with Mr. Dilip Kumar also. I was playing his son in his film which he was making, Kalinga. Unfortunately, the film never got completed. It's still a day's patchwork left, but I don't know when that will happen or whether it will happen or not.
You never know. It could be another Bakiza, which was completed 10 years later, and it was put out.
Yeah,
it could be one of those.
It would have been such an honor to be if Kalinga had released, and I had, and I at least I feel as an actor that is dunya mein how many people are there who get an opportunity to work with Mr. Dilip Kumar?
Well, I wish I had. I wish I had.
I got the opportunity. I got an opportunity to be directed by him, and for him to say action and for him to say cut and for me to react and for me to act, and it was such a wonderful feeling.
Literally, you've had the greats.
Doing Kalinga was a dream come true for me.
Wow. So what would you say well, if I had to rephrase the question, you couldn't answer that question directly. What was probably then one of the most challenging roles that you've had?
The most challenging role, if I really pinpoint, is was Khuda Gaba. Because the location which we were shooting was really hell. I mean, it was that place, Jomsom. I mean, it is something out of history, that place, where people in that town with the foothills of Himalaya, just below Muktinath, I don't know whether you've heard of Muktinath.
And I know the Himalayas.
And the first time we went there, I mean, it was a Dornier aircraft from Kathmandu. And we were looking at the airport. Where is the airport? Then we saw teams playing football on a football field. And then we realized that the plane is going to be landing on the football field. The plane there was no airport there. People had never seen motorcycles. People had never heard about television. People had, there's just a small little radio. And the only thing you used to get to eat would be dried dal and which was horrible, and potatoes and roti. It was bad. I mean, there were no green vegetables at all there. And yet, we started to, after a couple of days, I really started to enjoy it, I really started to enjoy Jomsom, because here was this place which you could never imagine that you would be here. And here I was right smack in the middle of it. And I started to enjoy. I said, hey, buddy, this is a part of life which you would have never got. So let's enjoy it. So I started to enjoy Jomsum. And I started
so it is a
mules,
mindset.
And there used to be mules, there was no transport. So we used to be go to the location, which was, it used to take us about 45 minutes, 50 minutes on the mule, on the mule. So that was this location. And secondly, the Pasha, the character I was playing, was somebody whom I could not identify, if I first heard about Pasha, I could never identify. I got that role because Mukul Anand was a friend of mine, who was the director of the film.
All right, okay.
That's why I got the role. I mean, let's be honest about it. Mukul was a friend of mine.
I was about to say, you sure you want to admit to that?
I'll give you such a role which you never even imagined. And Pasha was this ruthless, rustic, uncouth, spitting, lice in his hair, dirty nails, killing cockroaches with his bare hands. That's the kind of Pasha, that's what Pasha was.
That's how he sold it.
I said, yeah, ये इतना difficult role है मेरे लिए, मैं तो बिल्कुल ऐसा हूँ नहीं. Lekin then like Jumsum, after 3 days, I started to love Pasha. I said, यार fantastic आदमी है यार ये तो सारी दुनिया डरती है इससे और ये किसी से नहीं डरता है, ये हीरो से भी नहीं डरता है. He's a guy on his own, and because the role was challenging, because the role was not me exactly, so I thoroughly enjoyed doing it. And it was a challenging role to do, and I was nominated for the Filmfare Award for that film.
So see, for negative roles, you see, this is it. That's what you need.
A well-written negative role is better than doing a substandard positive role.
Absolutely, totally agree.
So positive roles usually, you see, today it's only the leading men who get something to do. You see, there are a few character actors who get a little bit to do. But you know what has happened? That today times have changed, and that is what's so beautiful about the Indian film industry, about everything happening. Because today content is king. Content is the star. I mean, what the audience is going to see is the star today. I mean, today if you start, I mean, of course we have our stars. Yes, they are. They are in a film which has good content. I mean, naturally the film will be lovely. But today, even a rank newcomer can pull off a successful film because of the content.
Right.
If the content is good, you pull it off. So today, the era of content has come, and I'm so happy that the Indian film industry is going through this era where content is king today.
But is that the only thing that's changed? What other things would you say has really changed? The audience, the mindset, the expectations, the kind of roles that you're doing. What else has changed? Lots has changed.
When we started NA, let me talk to you as an actor first, okay?
Yeah.
There were no scripts given to actors. Never.
Wow.
We were given a narration. कि यार ये role है. And this is the role you are playing. And sorry, I'll just have some water.
Yeah.
Excuse me. This is the film. ये फिल्म ऐसी है, एक गांव की फिल्म है या ये शहर की फिल्म है. अब गांव की फिल्म में ये रोल आपका है, आप मुखिया हैं, और शहर की फिल्म में अगर आप हैं तो आप डॉन हैं या किसी के भाई हैं. That is all. There were no auditions. No. There were no auditions. There were no casting agencies. There were no auditions where we used to be auditioned for a particular role. No. We always got work because of a personal relationship with the producer and the director, and how good we were with them and how successful we were as an actor. That was how the roles were given. The star system was there, yes, of course. I mean, anybody whose films worked was a star. I mean, like it's happening today. So there were no scripts. I mean, there were no scenes given. We used to be going on the set, and the writer or the director would write the scene and बोले यार ये scene है, ये करना है. You read the scene and you perform. Today, for an actor, a script is given to him 3 months in advance.
That's right, yeah.
He goes through the script, he goes through the nuances of the character, he goes through the characterization of how he's going to play that character. But we did it without the script. No scripts were given to us, and yet we performed. We did a good job. So tell me, I'm not comparing myself to the actors today, because I am also today.
Well, I was going to say.
No, I'm not comparing myself. But
No,
we
that's
worked
fine.
in such circumstances. We worked in such situations. Today, the actor has got everything on a plate. You know, he's been given a script,
Yeah.
he's given a narration, his look has been tested. I mean, that's how
Yes.
he wants you to look. That's why the director thinks that you should look. The dates are given in advance. Okay, this date we'll do this, we'll do this, we'll do this, we'll do this. Yeah, dates were given then too. But we never knew what you were doing on that date. We had to just go to the studio. Okay, आज climax कर रहे हैं. अच्छा, आज emotional scene कर रहे हैं. आज माँ के साथ scene कर रहे हैं. आज भाई के साथ scene कर रहे हैं. आज बीवी के साथ scene कर रहे हैं. आज gangster के साथ scene कर रहे हैं. आज hero के साथ scene कर रहे हैं. तो ये होता था हमारे साथ. आज की तारीख में हर चीज sorted है. एक चार्ट बना हुआ है, organized है आज की तारीख में. And so today it is very easy for actors to be able to perform the way they are performing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So would you say it's easier today, though?
Again, you tell me. I'm asking you as a layman. Okay.
Okay.
वो एक्टर जिसको स्क्रिप्ट नहीं दी गई, who has not been given a script, who doesn't know what he's doing when he comes on the set.
Yeah.
He performs, okay, and then an actor of today's time comes on the sets, who's been given a script 3 months in advance, who knows what scene he's doing, who knows what is look, he also performs. So, I'm not saying that we were better.
Yeah.
Okay, no, but we were definitely more dedicated, though.
So you had to really know the character that you were actually putting yourself into. You really had to.
Yes.
So the lines. So hang on a second. So what you're saying, the lines that actually came out of your mouth, were they a lot of your own content as well? Is that what you're saying?
The lines were written. The lines were written. The dialogue were written. And you were given a dialogue. I mean, we could add a few here and there. We could add a few words here and there. We could change
ad hoc,
here and there. That's okay. But the writer was very professional. I mean, they used to give the dialogue. The scene were written. The dialogues were given. They were all professional actors who worked with us writers who worked with us that time. But you see, today it's easier. Why, Annie? I'll tell you why. Because today it's more organized.
Okay.
That time we worked with our hearts.
Yes.
Our hearts were involved. In today's times, the heart is involved also, but the heart is being helped by the mind, by the brain.
Yeah.
By workshops, you know, we do work. I mean, today workshops are done. So before you go on the set, you already know what this is the type of scene it is. So all this is happening today. So this is a great period, and yet content is king, and everybody comes on time today. You know, everybody is conscious about time, how valuable time is. So everybody's become conscious of the fact that time is very important. So the
ho jayega moment is gone. Ho jayega wala zamana nikal.
Everybody is professional. Everybody has the heart in his right place. Everybody got the mind in his place. Everybody's got his emotions in the right place, and everything is happening good for the Indian film industry. And I'm so happy to be a part of it. And I pray to God that everything becomes normal. Everything starts shooting again in a big way. I mean, shootings have started, but you know, it's not come down. You know, it's not really come down to that level where say, "Ha, yaar, aaj maza aaya shoot."
But you know, it's not just the pandemic. That is, I mean, the pandemic, I think, was the catalyst. But everything seems to have changed. People have changed. Their attitude has changed. What they're saying has changed. Do you think the Indian film industry, I have to remember this, will ever come back to its former glory? Because now people have shifted to the OTT platform. They've got other options. Will it come back to what it was before?
Of course it will. There is no doubt about it. There is no doubt about it. Yes, there's a recent hiccup which has happened because of the pandemic. I totally agree to that. I also agree that the OTT platform which has arrived in a big way. I totally agree to that also. But then, when the films were there, television came. You see, television also barged in. But the Indian film industry has survived in spite of the onslaught of television.
Yeah.
So the Indian film industry, the theatre-going audience will survive the OTT platform. Mm-hmm. But OTT platform, you don't take it as an enemy. Don't.
So it's not a substitute.
It's an equalizer. You see, the OTT platform and the theatre-going audience have to go hand in hand. The OTT platform cannot be segregated from the theatre-going audience. I mean, we are part of we are two brothers, the Indian film industry and the OTT platform. The same mother is there, but we are two brothers who have different faces. You see, both the brothers cannot be looking alike, So that is the OTT platform and the theatre-going audience of the Indian film industry.
No, fair enough. But a lot of people, the newbies that are coming in now, their first thing is to try and get onto TV because it's a great, jumping board for for the big screen, and this is their strategy because they find it very hard to get in. But you actually started on the big screen, and when TV came out in the 80s, you embraced it. Funnily enough, you kind of went in the other direction, didn't you?
You see,
so when TV came out,
this question has put me back down memory lane.
Yes.
When television came in, and I was doing very well as an actor in films.
Yeah.
And television, I was offered a television show called Pankhon Se Panjo Tak. I remember that show. It was to be shot in Rajasthan. And it had only two actors, a camel and me.
The camel?
The camel and me. The story of a traveler and his camel. So when I was offered that it fascinated me. That role fascinated me. The conviction of the director, Avinash Khare, his name was, who the way he narrated it to me, it fascinated me. And I said, yes, I'll do it. And I was on a set of a film. I won't take names, but there was this colleague of mine sitting next to me. He said, "Tu pagal hai kya?" I said, what happened? Well, you're saying yes to television? Television karega tu? I said, ek waqt aisa aayega jab sab television karenge. Because television, I'll tell you, Annie, television is progress. You can't shun progress. You can't neglect progress.
Yeah.
You have to learn to coexist along with progress.
Yeah.
Like OTT platform, again, is progress.
Yes.
Some other technology will come, it will be progress. You cannot neglect it. You cannot shun it. You cannot say, forget it, I'm not interested. No. You have to coexist along with progress. And television was progress. And like it's so obvious right now, how big television has become. So
yes, very.
For me, I did that Pankhon Se Panjo Tak. After that, I did a lot of television. I was doing films, I was doing television. I was alternating between television and films, and I was enjoying it thoroughly. The roles which I never got on films, I used to get it on television. I mean, I did.
You've done everything.
I did everything. I did about, I'm very proud of the fact, and my volume of work, I'll tell you about it, that I did about I've done about 8,500 episodes on television. 8,500. That's quite a bit.
Wow.
That's so.
And that is amazing.
And I've enjoyed doing it. I'm going to start another show also now in January. So
you will never let anything get you down.
I will tell you about the movies I've been doing, because today there is a problem here. That today in our time there was no such clause, but today there is a confidentiality clause in your agreement.
Yeah.
Where the project you're involved in, the information has to be given by the production house.
Right.
So you can't talk about the project.
Oh, yes. I've come across that. Absolutely. No, fair enough. But we know. But we might try and ask it in another direction a bit later on. So I'm hoping to get you when you're weak. You might give me some information. Dear. But
you hope to get me in my weak moment.
So you can tell me what you might be doing in the future. Some hint or something. No spoiler alerts.
I would like to clarify that, please.
Yeah.
You would like to get me in my weak moment.
No.
Which is never going to come, don't worry.
I know, because you're strong enough now. The industry has strengthened you, obviously.
Yeah.
Oh, dear. No, the reason why I asked you about TV, only because I have talked to actors where they have said themselves that there is a divide between the big screen and the small screen. And it's not really a happy relationship. So they have face problems with obviously not TV people not being accepted. So I'm not sure where that comes from. If we're supposed to be kind of together or on a similar platform, if you talk about progress. So I don't understand why there isn't that.
Well, there might have been few instances, Annie, but I totally disagree that there is a great divide between television and films. Shah Rukh Khan.
I'm really getting that from the personalities.
Of the industry came in from television. Today, Shri Amitabh Bachchan, the icon of the industry, is doing television. So there is no great divide at all. Please, there is no ridge. There is no rift between television actors and film actors. I do television. I also do films. And I have never experienced any kind of bias by any of my film producers at all.
Okay.
Not at all.
So then, I guess everyone's experience is different.
Bad experiences. Well, it could be for other reasons too. There might be other reasons.
No, fair enough.
So let's not get into this.
No, absolutely. But your son is now, as you mentioned, your son is now coming into the industry.
Yeah, sure.
Shaurya. So what if I had to ask him what he's learned from his dad? Is he going to say that I learned this from my dad, or has he got his own personality, his own idea?
I take the credit or the discredit of not teaching my son anything.
Okay.
I want him to learn on his own, like I did. Because when you learn on your own, that learning lasts longer. You have more value.
Yes.
This is what I learned in life.
Yes.
So he was, his film was starting. He was supposed to be going to the UK. But then the lockdown happened. He was a little depressed. And I made him understand, so what, it doesn't happen. Doesn't matter. What would have happened if you had gone there and then the lockdown would have happened? We all would have been
scattered.
Be miserable here. So his film will start. He's doing a couple of more of the films eventually. And he's focused. And I'm sure that he'll do a good job. And someday I'm sure that you will like to talk to him also.
Yes, I hope so. And I think we may have communicated as well, because he is on Instagram as well. So if he's there, a hello to him and good luck as well. Is he here? So have we got a potential? Hi, Shaurya. Oh dear.
She's saying hi. So, you can't hear it? You don't have. I'm sorry. Say hi to her.
Give a little wave. Hi, Shaurya. Hi. Oh, look, I see a bit of you. Hi.
I can't hear you.
I'm fine, thank you. Oh, you can't.
It was just wonderful hearing you all talk. So I was just intently listening, because there's a lag, right, with the audio and the visuals,
of course.
So I was just listening to everything.
All right. So we're waiting for you now. We're waiting to see what you come out with.
Hopefully very soon. I was Dad was already saying that I was supposed to be in the UK in June, mid of June or something. So unfortunately it didn't happen. Fortunately, because I wasn't traveling, so I was in Bombay itself. So, they would have been really worried, oh my God, then travel is off and house situation. But then luckily now things are getting better everywhere. And hopefully should be flying out soon, hopefully, I guess, maybe in the coming few months. So
Shaurya, when you have your new production, right, I insist on getting the scoop. So you better be talking to me about it and telling me all about it.
That would be maybe soon in the pipeline, but
Oh, fantastic. I look forward to it.
Hopefully, we would be. But I think that authority, my sister...
Why are you letting him take my thunder?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay, that's enough.
Sure, you're going to have to give back that airport. Oh God, imagine Shrishti on one, Shaurya on the other.
This is my thunder. This is my day today. When he gets his day, I will never interfere. I will never interrupt.
All right, okay. There. Okay. Fair enough. But if Shrishti's going to be a producer, if Shaurya is going to be an actor,
Shrishti is a fabulous creative
Are we
person.
going to have a production house?
Shrishti is a very, very creative person. She is. I'm sorry, right now she's not.
I don't have my war paint on, Annie.
Oh, it's okay. Don't worry. Your voice is enough.
And she's just sitting casually. And
no, that's fine. I feel you.
Next time we talk, it'll be father and daughter together, and we'll talk to you.
Oh no, good, because I want the whole production house.
She's very creative, and I'm sure she'll do a great job. And she's been doing off and on different things. She's probing exactly.
I know.
Yeah. She's also into fashion,
Okay.
She's also done a bit of costume. And when she was 18, when she was not even 18, when just out of school, she assisted in a television show of mine, Millie. She has been an assistant director. She has been with IMG. She has worked with the Lakme Fashion Week. She's been a creative. She does great writing. She had a small little jewelry outlet. I mean, she's done everything. I mean, she's somebody.
Shrishti and I Need to keep in touch. That's what we need to do. Something
like
similar. We've got some similarities.
She's Jane of all trades,
Jane of all trades.
She's great.
Oh dear. Oh, brilliant stuff. So you mean to say, Kiran, I cannot ask you about your future plans. I cannot ask you. Is that what you're saying? Are you bound?
Let the future. You see, right now the future is so uncertain.
Yes.
You see, for me to be able to reveal that this is my future plan, this is what I'm going to do. I mean, let me because the future is
surprise.
Everybody is very uncertain about the future today. They really don't know what's going to be happening tomorrow or day after. Or you see, I have a very strong feeling that Mr. Corona is here to stay.
Right. Yes.
I had contact.
You suffered.
Yeah, I had contact Corona. I was.
You're looking fighting fit.
Asymptomatic positive. I was detected with, and initially I thought it was, oh my God, what happened to me? How can it happen to me? How did it happen to me? I mean, that was my initial reaction. But then I totally came to terms with it. I was quarantined at home. And you see, what I'm saying now is the perspective of an asymptomatic positive guy.
Okay.
You see, but Corona is not something which you should take lightly.
Yes.
It can, it is not something, okay, it's like, कोरोना हुआ ठीक है नहीं कोरोना अगर होता है तो कोरोना is not something which you should take lightly. Please take it seriously. And first thing I'll tell you what, I mean, we have to follow the norms which has been set by the BMC and by the central government. You have to listen to what Mr. Narendra Modi says.
Yes.
You see, we have to follow. The lockdown is there. It's been disastrous for everybody. I mean, lockdown was a period. I mean, lockdown is a period where people really don't know whether they're coming or going, what's going to happen in 15 days or 2 months or 3 months. I mean, people are having a lot of financial problems. They're having work-related problems. People are having emotional problems. People are having physical problems. Everything is there. But then, if there are problems, you might as well accept it.
Yeah.
Okay, this is a problem. मैंने accept कर लिया. I have accepted. Okay, problem है. जब आप एक्सेप्ट नहीं करेंगे तो आपको प्रॉब्लम होगी.
ठीक है.
Okay, so now we have to learn to live with Mr. Corona. He's here to stay. I don't know when the people are saying a vaccine is going to be here in September, in October. I don't even know. Okay, what are going to be the side effects of the vaccine?
Yeah.
I don't know. So
fair enough.
The vaccine will come someday. But I really don't. I can't picture that suddenly God waves a wand and the corona vanishes. No, that is not going to happen.
No, fair enough.
We might as well accept corona. We learn to live with corona.
No, fair enough.
Like we're living with the flu, we are living with the influenza, we are living with pneumonia, we're living with cancer.
I agree.
We have to start living with corona also.
No, I absolutely agree. And you've done really well. I've got to give you full marks for perseverance in getting through this. I mean, you said it has a great impact. Has it changed you in any way, emotionally or in any way? Has it made you think about certain things a lot more?
For me to change emotionally, it had affected me emotionally. But I have such a strong emotional support system at home that emotionally I was not at all affected by it. Yeah, physically, you see, sometimes, what happens, sometimes that you feel, energy levels have dropped to some extent, maybe about 20%. You see, your energy levels drop a bit. You feel a little fatigue after this bout of Mr. Corona. But then,
he's a person.
I don't feel that I have changed. I mean, I don't feel any physically I have changed. Emotionally, there is no problem at all because emotionally, my support system is always there behind me. Mentally, I feel that I have become more creative.
So definitely a positive in that way. So it's ironically. Fantastic.
Romantically, I feel the way I am. I mean, it's
romantically. Oh, right.
My beautiful wife at home. Baki, everything is great. I mean, I don't think Corona has changed me at all as a person.
But, so obviously, if it's made you more romantic, it's only been a good thing in that way.
It can't make you more romantic. It can't do that.
Still romantic.
No, because Mr. Corona is not Viagra. It's not. Mr. Corona is doesn't make you more romantic. Yeah.
Oh, dear, oh dear.
If you have a
Shame is
beautiful
sort of
wife
side
at home,
effect.
you're romantic anyway. That's no problem.
If you're stuck at home. So in a way, situational. But you know, Kiran, thank you so much. You have been absolutely wonderful. It's been great talking to you. And I have to say, I've also had the pleasure.
It has been such a pleasure talking to you, Annie. I mean, much more than I really expected. I thought because see, I was a little bit alarmed with your British accent, initially.
Oh, I see.
So I thought, I don't know whether I'll be able to understand you or not, or whether I'll be able to understand what you're asking me.
और हिंदी में भी हम बोलते हैं, मगर हिंदी हमारी इतनी अच्छी नहीं है.
नहीं, हिंदी में अच्छी नहीं है तो ठीक है ना, आपकी हिंदी ठीक ठाक है. इससे ज्यादा हिंदी अच्छी बोलेंगे तो आप शास्त्री हो जाएंगी. You're fine.
चलेगा, दौड़ेगा नहीं, चलेगा खाली.
बाकी तो ठीक है. बाकी आप, it was great talking to you. आपके साथ बात करके बड़ा अच्छा लगा. आपकी शक्ल देख के बड़ा अच्छा लगा. मुझे तो मालूम ही नहीं था कि आप इतनी खूबसूरत हैं.
Yes, thank you. ये हमारा, हाँ जी.
नहीं, मैंने अभी आपको स्क्रीन पे पहली बार देखा है. सडनली रियलाइज कि ये तो आप खूबसूरत है. हमें तो ये मिलके फिजिकली 1-to-1 इंटरव्यू करना चाहिए था.
I disbelieve the corona.
आप गुरुग्राम में बैठी है, मैं बांद्रा में बैठा हूँ. ये तो ज्यादती है. Unfair. Next time you're in Bombay, please come over, have a meal with us.
No, I definitely will.
Shaurya, my wife would love to have you for a meal with us. Come and break bread with us.
Absolutely,
आपको फर्स्ट क्लास, आपको अच्छा माँ की काली दाल, तंदूर की रोटी.
Lovely, one of my favorites.
मजा आएगा आपको. आइएगा.
Thank you. No, definitely.
आपका टेलीफोन नंबर है मेरे पास.
आप भी आइए.
अगर मैं कभी गुड़गांव या दिल्ली आया तो मैं आपको फोन करूंगा.
Please.
Okay. It's been nice talking to you, Annie. God bless you. Take care.
Yes, you too.
And have a great evening, Annie.
Thank you so much, and hello to everybody else in the family, and please thank them for being a great support as well. Be absolutely fantastic. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.